نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. The Quran tells us about some of the afflictions of the close slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah Azza wa Jal shows us how they responded and how they appealed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Al-Anbiya, the du'as of many prophets who were in tough conditions are mentioned. It starts with Nuh alayhi salam, and then it moves on to Ayub alayhi salam, then Yunus alayhi salam, Zakaria alayhi salam. There is mention of the dua of Ayub alayhi salam in two places. One is in Surah Al-Anbiya, where Ayub alayhi salam made the dua, Rabbi anni masani al-durru wa anta arhamur rahimin. Oh Allah, this pain, this hardship has affected me. It has touched me. Literal translation, meaning that it has struck me. And he didn't know what to do or what else to say except for the fact that wa anta arhamur rahimin. You are the most merciful of all of those who show mercy. What is the cure for this? I don't know. How this has happened? I don't know. Where are the means of this treatment going to come from? I don't know. I'm just asking you for your mercy, and that's enough for me. So sometimes this is enough, that we simply express our pain, not in so many words, but we tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, I'm hurt. I'm in pain. And you are the most merciful, have mercy on me. Of course, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy comes into motion, then Allah Azza wa Jal is going to remove the affliction and bring something better after that. In Surah Sad, there is another dua of Ayyub alayhi salam, where he says, Rabbi anni massani ash-shaytanu bin nusbin wa adhab. Oh Allah, shaitan has touched me bin nusbin wa adhab. Nusb is another form of nasab, which means exhaustion. Something that has drained me. It has drained me. And a person does not have the strength to fight and to resist it anymore. Now, adhab means punishment, torment. So, in the first dua, he simply said that this pain and this difficulty has afflicted me. And the other one, he says, shaitan has touched me with it. Why did he attribute this to shaitan? There are a few possible reasons for this that Mufassirin have mentioned. One is that shaitan came to the wife of Ayyub alayhi salam, and narrations mention that when Ayyub alayhi salam fell ill, and he stayed ill for many years, everyone left him. All his family members left him, even his children left him. But his wife stayed and continued to serve him and look after him and bring him food and all of those things. And shaitan came to her in the form of a healer and said that I am here to help, to offer my assistance. I know how to cure your husband. And so she said, who are you? What do you want? He said, I don't want anything. I just want your husband to be cured. So he gave her some words to say, which were it was a ruqya that had some inappropriate words in it. So she was so desperate to see her husband cured that she went and used those words anyways, but Ayyub alayhi salam sensed it and he asked her. And she said, look, this person came and he gave me these words and he guaranteed me that you would be cured through these words. So Ayyub alayhi salam was very upset. So he said that this is the work of shaitan. Shaitan on this occasion has caused me a great exhaustion. I'm already tired and exhausted, but here shaitan is playing games with me and he wants to prolong my punishment. Because of course, if that ruqya would have been used and the name of someone other than Allah would have been taken, then this would have created great problems. So this is one reason that some mufassirin have mentioned. Others have said that shaitan started making him feel helpless and started putting all kinds of thoughts in his head that everyone has left you, you're all by yourself, you're going to perish like this. So he is talking about his tussle, his battle with shaitan. And we do know that there is, just like there is a physical challenge in various types of sicknesses, there is also an emotional and mental challenge that a person has to fight with their head as well. They have to be headstrong and they have to tell themselves that no, I can get over this, I have to fight this, I have to beat this. And spiritually a person turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asks Allah for his help. So he was talking about the emotional toll that this was taking and how shaitan was playing a role in that. So this is the other explanation for why he attributed this pain to shaitan. There's another possible reason as well, and that comes to light through the hadith of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he was asked about the ta'un. He was asked about the plague, that what is this and how does this happen? So he, alayhi salatu wasalam, in numerous ahadith, there are various words that are used. One of them is wakhzu a'da'ikum min al-jinn and wakhzu ikhwanikum min al-jinn. That this is mischief that is caused by your enemies from the jinns, from the shayateen. Or this is a touch that is spread through these shayateen. So based on this, Hafiz ibn Hajar rahimahullah, in his book Badlul Ma'un, he wrote an entire book on the plague. And it's filled with so many rich facts, information from Quran, from Hadith, from history. And Hafiz ibn Hajar rahimahullah is not an ordinary person, not by any measure. He is, he was a giant in his time in the field of Hadith and remains that way today. His authority is very well established and has remained so over the centuries. But in regards to the plague, he lost a few of his daughters. He lost 2 or 3 of his daughters in the plague. And so he wrote about the plague. But nowhere in the writing will his emotions come out. It's all very, very academically done. So he mentions these narrations and he says, look, yes, shayateen do have a role in the spread of diseases because the hadith mentions it and the hadith are well authenticated. How does that work? It could be that shayateen are taking things from one place and implanting them to other places. It could be that shayateen are planting thoughts in people's minds that would make them do things that would spread that disease, makes them careless, and puts mischief in the minds of people as well. So there are various explanations for it. This could also be a possible explanation for Ayyub alayhi salam attributing that pain and sickness and torment to shaitan. In any case, it becomes obvious that there is more than one element here. There is the element of dur, the actual pain that a person is feeling. And then there's the element of shaitan. And shaitan's job is to exploit any opportunity and any kind of weakness that he finds. And of course, when a person is sick, yes, they are weak. They are, like I mentioned, they're physically weak and they're also emotionally weak, so they become an easy target for shaitan. So in those conditions, it's important, what the ayat is teaching us, is that while a person is taking measures to cure themselves and heal themselves, it's also important to keep seeking protection from shaitan and his works. Because a person is now, as I mentioned, a vulnerable and easy target for shaitan and his armies. So Ayyub alayhi salam did both, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured him and restored his family, and in fact expanded his family, so many more people than he had in his original family became part of his family. This is the expansion of the family, and they all stayed with him, and he had a very good life after that. And the treatment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him was very different. It was very unconventional. It was from the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Urkud bi rijlik," which means kick with your foot on the ground. Dig your foot into the ground. Rakada is like when you dig your heels, your spurs into the side of a horse. So, dig your heel into the ground. هَذَا مُغْتَسَلٌ بَارِدٌ وَشَرَابٌ. And so a spring came out. A spring of water started coming out right from where he had struck his foot. And the water was cold. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you will bathe in this and you drink from this. And this is your cure. He bathed in it and he drank from it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cured him of his disease. So just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made arrangements from the ghaib, from his treasures for Ayyub alayhi salam, we should never despair from the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that there is no disease Allah has sent down, but that He has also sent down a cure for that disease. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from the physical and spiritual and emotional ailments and diseases and sicknesses. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to live with healthy bodies and healthy minds and healthy souls. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to use these last few days to get close to Him and win over His mercy. Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam tabarakta ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Allahumma laka alhamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa azimi sultanik. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في ديننا ودنيانا وأهلنا ومالنا. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا. اللهم احفظنا من بين أيدينا ومن خلفنا وعن أيماننا وعن شمائلنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد نبيا. اللهم إنا نسألك من الخير كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم. ونعوذ بك من الشر كله عاجله وآجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم. ونسألك من خير ما سألك من عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك من عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى الله وسلم على النبي برحمتك يا رب.